Hi, we're Sage Legacy Law.
My name is Mookie.
I'm Angela, and we're mom attorneys, and we're here to talk about how estate planning helps families.
Today we are going to focus on when you have college-bound children, and it's going to be about what to know about the bill.
So we know about the big, beautiful bill, but what is it, and how does that affect us? I think that's
what we're going to go over today. So a little bit about who we are.
We're a woman-owned boutique law firm based in San Marino, both moms, and so we care deeply about our community and our children and the families that are here.
We are here to create comprehensive and personalized estate plans for families to offer protection.
Yeah, individuals and family, and we focus on the care-based plan where it's a relationship. We're here as your family's advisors and supporters to go through the journey together rather than something that's transactional.
Let's go. So
estate planning is not just for the wealthy. It's about ensuring your child is supported when they head to college or any time during their life. Particularly, we're talking about college today. A living trust protects education funds. Power of attorney ensures bills are paid on time. And if something happens to you, right? And HIPAA, FERPA release lets you step in if your child has a medical or academic emergency after turning 18.
So particularly today, because we're talking about college-bound kids,
once they're 18, they have their privacy right. You no longer have access to their information automatically. That's why these documents are important to allow you to continue to take care of them even after they left home.
Okay. And
now
about the
bill. Big, beautiful bill that we've all heard about but are not really sure, right?
So on July 4th of this year, Independence Day, President Trump signed this one big, beautiful bill, and it's an 870-page law that extends tax cuts, and it makes cuts to Medicaid and SNAP and changes some of the student loan rules. And it's expected to add about $3.4 trillion to the national debt in the coming years. This change, of course, it's going to affect every family, okay? Even you think you're not going to use student loan, or you think Medicaid does not apply to you, it applies to someone around you. So
it affects everyone. And that's why we're here to see what we can do to plan ahead and adapt to these changes. So the new loan rules affect how families pay for college. We'll break down each change, but with every change, we'll show you where estate planning makes a difference. So you have a plan even when policies shift.
So let's go over some of these changes. First, we have the repayment assistance plan. The new repayment assistance plan, or RAP, requires borrowers to pay 1 to 10% of their income with a $10 minimum monthly payment. And loans are not forgiven until 30 years. It used to be 20 to 25 years with the present day choices that you have, but the benefit is that you get waived interest, and the government will contribute some if your payment does not reduce your principal by $50. There are a lot of details in this plan.
A lot of nuances and details.
Right. But overall context is basically it's eliminating a lot of the repayment plan from 7 choices down to 2. It's supposed to be simplify things, but it's cutting out a lot of benefits for some people that would have found the old plans useful. So how do we plan for this? Planning ahead, okay? It allows families to set aside money in advance so students don't have to face the debt for decades. It has saving early, setting aside funds, and have a plan to distribute your resources.
So the second one is Pell Grant eligibility is now narrowed. So now it's restricted if your student already has a full ride, but expanded to include workforce training programs. That helps some people, but Pell still doesn't cover essentials like books, transportation, or living expenses. And living in California, we all know that adds up fast. So strategic planning fills in those gaps. So families aren't left scrambling when aid falls short. So finding that money, but saving ahead, looking ahead, is always planning ahead. So no matter what happens, your family will be prepared.
Right. And the next one, we have Parent Plus loans. So now it's capped at $20,000 per year with a maximum of $65,000 throughout the education. So that leaves funding gaps for families whose children attend higher cost schools. So estate planning tools like trust and dedicated savings account would help families cover tuitions without relying on federal borrowing. Same thing again, set up your trust so you have a plan to set aside funds at different times and take advantage of tax strategies, financial planning, and legal planning. So then, you would have all this time ahead of before you're going to college to plan for it.
Now, Grad Plus loans are being eliminated after July 1st, 2026. So current borrowers are grandfathered, but new grad students will need to use private loans with higher interest and stricter terms. Again, placing yourself on track using tax and saving strategies helps by pre-planning graduate education funding so grad school remains affordable. So all these talks about planning ahead is reminding you to utilize and maximize the power of time right now. That's why we're always telling people to look earlier in their planning. Mm-hmm. You need to come up with a structure, a foundational plan that's comprehensive, and it will be, depression resistant, policy resistant, and all of that. It will carry your family through because it will be easily adaptable.
Right. Back to time. A lot of people ask, we're not going to retire for another 10, 15 years. Is it too early for us to do our estate plan?
Or our kids are in preschool or elementary school.
Or if we just got married, is it too early? It's
never too early.
Yep. So back to children. Once your child turns 18, like Angela said earlier, you no longer have legal authority over them. That means you can't access their medical info, financial accounts, or academic records without proper documentations. So at this time, you need these key tools. Okay, so you need a living trust, you need durable power of attorney, you need HIPAA authorization, you need healthcare proxy, and FERPA release. So these will protect both parents and students in emergencies. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, these things are essential. Like we said, it's never too early, and we always tell people, think of it as a rite of passage. This is when your children are stepping into adulthood. They need these documents in place as they move forward in their life, and then as their life grow, more documents come in place to secure that as they grow together and evolve. Mm-hmm. So between loan restrictions, capped aids, and eliminated programs, families face more financial uncertainties than ever. Estate planning provides stability. It ensures college is affordable, that financial decisions are clear, and that your child is protected even if the unexpected happens.
Mm-hmm. So, again, estate planning will provide you with clarity, stability, and security no matter what happens. Right? In addition to planning your family, planning for your family, we encourage you to open up the conversation with your college-bound children to start their planning as well. So our keep calm and carry on plan provides exactly just that. So like Angela listed earlier, so it would have the HIPAA waiver, just in the event that something happens at school medically that you need access to. FERPA, right? The
financial and education.
The educational release, and then it would also have the medical power attorney, the regular power attorney, and also a personal wishes statement. So all this, we would offer this package that with all the documents that comply with this federal law, and then specifically with state law, depending on what state your college kid is going to school with. All prepare legally for you, and securely deliver electronically to you.
Yeah, so it's as moms and attorneys, we feel like it's within our power and our expertise to provide some solutions for your family and protections. We always care about, our priorities are always the kids once you become mom. So yeah. This is like our priorities. That's why we talk about it, and we really want to make it, efficient, affordable for every family, really, to have this plan in place. Mm-hmm. So we created personalized plans for your family needs. And we're here to help you protect your family and legacy and stand beside you to secure your children's future. So if you're interested, you can scan our QR code right here for a consultation, or reach out to us and we could see how we could design yours and your child's safety net together.
Mm-hmm. And so that will bring us to questions.
So
a lot of questions that came up, such as...
Yeah, I'm going to check on some questions that people have sent in for us. Let's see. Okay. So the first one is, what is the big beautiful bill and why does it matter to families with college students? So we talked about this earlier. This new legislation changed how certain benefits, financial aids, and decision-making authorities are handled once a child turns 18 and leaves for college. For example, parents often assume they can still make medical financial decisions for their children, but legally, once they're 18, that's no longer true. As we said several times, without these proper documents in place. Imagine your child studying abroad or injured on campus, right? You want that peace of mind that you're able to step in. So estate planning documents like healthcare directives, HIPAA waivers, and power attorney makes all that possible. Mm-hmm. And this one also, we hear it a lot. It's kind of like timing issue, but do we even need it? Do we really need it? So this person says, my child is healthy and responsible. So do we really need to think about estate planning for them right now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's actually the best time to start thinking about it, when, everyone is healthy and on track. Right?
Yeah, it's just not about what happens when someone dies. It's about ensuring you can help if something happens. But it's also beneficial for your family, for every family, to have that conversation, right? The what if conversation. We tell people use it as a family dinner exercise, talk about it, right? So a story we often share, and this happens. People don't want to think about it, but it happens a lot. A student had a skiing accident out of state, right? His parents rushed to the hospital, but the doctor couldn't release updates, and the parents couldn't make any decisions for him without a signed HIPAA release and a medical directive in place. So these few hours of waiting is agonizing. I mean, as a parent, it's like the worst nightmare, and it's totally avoidable. Estate planning helps you be present and effective as parents, even when the law says your child is not an adult. So I think that's so important. This is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Another question.
Planning is not for just now, right? It's for all the what ifs, all the uncertainties. You want that clarity.
Mm-hmm. And how does estate planning tie into financial aid and paying for college?
Great question. So the new law affects how your assets are counted, and new benefit, how that beneficiary designations would affect. So you need to plan ahead, right? We need to plan ahead. We need to work with legal advisors, financial advisors, and all that to get yourself on track. So you know what direction you're going, how you are saving up for education, and if there law change. So if there's another shift in a few years, you are adaptable, right? You can adapt to all this. So you don't want to miss out on any opportunities like tax saving, tax credit, other financial savings possibilities.
Mm-hmm. And I want to piggyback on that. So a well-structured plan and an attorney that is up to date with the law, that you can communicate with openly, can really help your family. Like you could pivot anytime. Like we are always in touch with our clients if something were to change. How do they pivot? How do we adjust their plan? But first you start with a well-structured plan, right? You have that foundation. So it becomes resistant to change. You can always adapt and pivot. Like it can protect financial aid opportunities. It can make tuition payments smoother, avoid unintended tax consequences. And that's a big thing. People, with I think an advisor type of role that we do for people. For instance, if your family had a grandparent's gift set up incorrectly, right? That could end up jeopardizing thousands of dollars in financial aid. With the right planning, this gift could have been preserved and even leveraged to build long-term wealth for the student rather than impacting him on the financial aid. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of nuances that you should have a trusted partner that could help you adapt the plan.
Yeah, and it's so important to have someone relational as how we want to be here for our clients, because there's certain concerns that you think ahead like a month ahead.
Yeah.
There are some that you have to plan 10 years ahead of time. So you always want to be in a relationship with a professional that knows how to, look at your family situation as a whole and do the best planning for you.
Yeah, and I also want to piggyback on that because with our keep on carry on plan, people have talked to us about, well, there are templates you could get, there are forms you could get, but those templates are just that, they're forms, they're templates. It doesn't come with advice. It doesn't come with an attorney talking to you about what works for your family, making sure the forms are filled out correctly or they're even valid, right?
Or even what legal consequences.
Yeah, what legal consequences, like when you fill out financial aid package or any kind of packet, HIPAA release, FERPA release, what is do not resuscitate mean? Like all these things, if you don't have the proper guidance, you're making life-changing decisions on these paperwork. And if no one's looking over it for you or guiding you or have your questions answered, it could go wrong. Like we often tell people, yeah, it's better to have something, it's better than nothing. But there are many instances, actually, we've seen that having something is actually worse than having nothing. So we really want to make sure that people understand that, yeah, you could pull a form, you could download something, you could buy template services out there, but it doesn't come with advice. You want to do it right when it comes to this kind of things, So once again, what are the documents that college students should have before leaving home? At the minimum, we'll always say healthcare directive and HIPAA waiver, right? That's for medical emergencies. Durable power of attorney, so you can handle their finances if needed. We have kids that didn't bother pay tuition, parents were not notified, they got kicked out of school, so that durable power of attorney, you can step in to help them. Credit card debt happens very often, more often than you think, right? Power of attorney is so important. FERPA waiver, same thing, so you can access academic and financial records from school.
Social. I think that's another pretty big one that's coming
The
up.
wellness thing, yeah. Sometimes kids, when they go to college, leaving home for the first time, there's a lot of social and emotional impact and growth. And there are times when kids get in trouble or get into a dark place and parents were not notified.
Right.
And simple will. Kids, they are adults. When your kids become adults, they have their personal wishes, they have personal intentions. It doesn't have to be complicated, but as even just leaving the passwords for you, in a safe place for their laptop or the cell phone and things like that. So think about those things as your child's adulting starter pack. That's what we're doing together, like the rite of passage. As they learn to adult, this is their starter pack. And they'll give you the legal tools to support them through this big transition and through all life transition. Yeah. How about for families with more than one child in school?
Okay, so every child is different. They go through different school, different setting, and they have their own different wishes. So every child deserves that specific talk about how Keep Calm and Carry On can help them. And they each should set up their own plan because they're different and they should be treated differently and they should have their own wishes. And you would want to communicate with that particular child on, based on that situation. So yes, you definitely should do a comprehensive plan for the whole family, but for each one of your child, right? It's someone very individual, very unique individual to be celebrated. So you should have that focus, right? Each one would get their own plan and have their own wishes presented.
Yeah, I mean, I keep on bringing up this rite of passage. It should be supposed to be celebrated. Like you're 18, you're an adult. This is what you get to do. We get to do together for you as a celebration of you entering into adulthood.
And I think that's also a very unique communication between parents and child.
You really secure your bond because you get to learn so much about your child as a person through this process.
Right. The clients that we work with, because we go so personalized into their plan, they did not know. They did not know what their financial places are. They don't know where they stand, emotionally and logically in this whole picture. So when we walk through them, they actually learn so much more than just having a plan figured out. So imagine if you do that with your child. Yeah, that's how much more clarity you would get learning about your child.
Yeah, I think it's all about communication, and as parents, we always worry your kids are home looking at devices. You don't know what they're thinking about. But through opening these conversations, it's important. You get to learn so much about your child and appreciate them as people,
Yeah.
So can we set this up before our child leaves for college, or do we have to wait until they're 18? So you can always prepare early. I would say always have those conversations. You can make it fun. Like I've had the conversation with my kids since they're little about what ifs. Like what if mommy's not here? What do you want to do? Who do you want to go to? What's your safety place? You want them to have that openness of the conversation. I feel like those are important conversations and make it developmentally appropriate, of course.
Even that conversation, do you want to be Princess Elsa or do you want to be Anna?
Yeah. When we talk about a lot, you learn a lot about your kids and their preferences, and we used to do the fantasy planning. Like, what would you do for Harry Potter to save him from the situation? Like, what could mommy do in that situation? Like, prepare the plans in place. If his parents had a trust in place and all that. We play those games.
Mm-hmm. So all the documents, yes, they cannot be executed until your child turns adult at 18. But, all the talk can come as early as possible. Get that clarity in there. Instill this knowledge and instill how much you care for them through these conversations.
Yeah, we've seen parents give their child a small keepsake box, almost like a family heirloom with their first Lego kit. Right, and they can start building from that file as they build their life, like a family tree or something like that. And I think it's a beautiful transition to adulthood, like sweet 16, but then this is when you're adult, 18,
Yeah, and this is like an actual gesture of love and care.
And so we could go on forever about this, but estate planning help with college savings plans. Same thing. It's just your estate planning is package, or we tell people it's like building a suitcase, right? So this is kind of like you're building a backpack for your kids to leave with all the essential documents. But estate planning, we tell people it's like building a house, a foundation, or a suitcase. Put all your family things in there, whether it's 529, if there's insurance, life insurance. You just keep on adding your assets, your plans for your loved ones in there to make it all in one place.
And I think estate planning, it's not just legal, right? It encompasses financial, your life, your familial, all the relationship all together. It's kind of your life roadmap. Yeah, it's kind of like a encapsulation of your whole life, your relationship, your loved ones. It's not just your things or your money. And so, of course, this question isn't just for wealthy people. No, it's not. It's for everything. Anybody that has anything that they love and they protect, right? It's not just about the money, like we just said. It's your kids, your family's needs, your visions, anything you want to pass on. We talk about the mission statement. It's your legacy. It's anything you touch in this lifetime. So and actually, many middle class family will benefit most because any small mistake could have big impact on aid, healthcare, and access to resources. Whereas if you're really wealthy, you actually would be impacted less, I would say. I think so.
Yeah.
So even though today is about the back to school edition about, college bound and about, student loans, but more, it expands so much further. You can start so much earlier and it goes so much more beyond college.
Yeah, so I think we just want to take this opportunity to address or demystify, because people hear the big, beautiful bill. What does that mean? What does that mean to me? So we wanted to take a moment to address that, but also extend into yes, we're talking about financial planning, how that can affect your financial aid. It's all about planning ahead and having those conversations with your trusted advisors. And then as your family grow, whatever policy might come up, laws, whatever, climate change, anything, your family will stay protected and resistant to depression, to policy change, to economic crisis, right? Whatever that should happen. Another storm. I don't know. It's been kind of nonstop.
It's eventful. So not to forget the one big beautiful, it's an 870 pages thing. So we only cover a small part of it. What's coming in our next webinar, it's going to be all related to real estate properties.
So we have a series. This is the first of our series how it affects students, family with students applying for aid. Our second one in October will be addressing how does it affect the real estate people that are homeowners or potential home buyers, how that would change in the upcoming year, because a lot of policies kick in end of this year or the early next year. Then the next one after that, we'll be talking more about small businesses, people that are in trading or commercial things.
Yeah, it's a lot of tax changes.
Even cross-border issues, some of that we'll address that in our November.
To stay well informed, that would help you, however you want to structure out your business or structure out your personal planning would be really helpful.
Yeah. So think about it as, a family tree. You're having the seed, your kids are planting the seed, and as it branch out to be a bigger tree, we'll plan for that. So that's it for today. Follow us, subscribe, follow all our social media group and Facebook groups to open a discussion. Comment below, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. Or you can always reach out to us. I think we have a contact information somewhere
on our channel. I'm pretty
sure. Our channel. And call us, email us, message us.
More resources on the One Big Beautiful Bill. If you would like to learn more about it, read more about it. I don't think anybody wants to read the 870 pages, but
reach out.
There are a lot more resources. Reach out to us. We can provide you the resources where we get a lot of this from.
Yeah, and also regular updates on our website. So follow us. We'll be back soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.